Welcome everyone. Happy New Year. Starting a whole new year, kicking off with this seminar I've chose for you, creating miracles or steps to create miracles in your life. The reason I've chose this subject is because we'll define miracles in the moment, but we want to create a foundation for this year. And as we know, a New Year resolution or we all creating different lists of how or desires or thinking about them or dreaming about this upcoming years or wishing for how this year will show up in our life. And many of us think that, if those dreams will come true, it's really like a wow moment. It will be considered miracles. So I want to talk with you about this, about how the steps to create those miracles and defining for ourselves, what does it mean create miracle, or what is a miracle by itself, right? So when we say to ourselves, wow, what a miracle, what kind of feelings are waking within you? What are the thoughts that are coming up? For some, it's like, oh wow, I was saved. If God forbid, like an accident, a disease, or a decision that you made that turned out to be the wrong decision, and you say, I was saved, or we'll say, oh, what an amazing outcome, or it's unbelievable that it happened, or we say, oh, our dreams come true, and we say, this is illogical. This is like beyond my understanding. And many times that when we look at miracles that happening into our life, we automatically put it in a category of illogical, or it's beyond logic, right? So if this year, God willing, will be full of illogical situation that will appear in your life, will be amazing? The illogical outcome, the miracles are coming through, my dreams are coming through. And this is why I chose for this month of January, to connect to those steps, to give us guidelines, if I can say, for the next year to come. And with these guidelines, with those steps, with those stages, practical stages for each one of us, as well as consciousness related stages or steps that we can allow us and bring us into a place where we definitely can manifest our dreams, manifest the light that is within us to shine this through the world, and connect to that, okay? Like Rabbi Avraham Azulai, one of the ancient Kabbalists, lived at the time of the Ari, like about 450 years ago, 500 years ago. He spoke then that on that time that he spoke then about the time that we live in right now, that it's time of Messiah, right? We enter the era of Aquarius even, but it's time of Messiah, it's time of change, it's time of transformation. And he mentioned that in the near future, so many changes will take place, but one of them are that miracles will be inseparable part, like it will be part of our daily life. Isn't that exciting? When we talk about beyond, unfortunately, we accept in lives as high and lows, ups and down. And, it will be a miracle and it will be joy and happiness, a continuous joy and happiness when things are not anymore like high and low. Sometimes, again, when we talk about miracles, it's like something that it's beyond nature. It's like above nature. It's something that beyond us. We have a hard time to believe. We have a hard time to understand, to comprehend, to embrace that miracles can be part of our daily life. And it's something that Rabbi Avraham Azulai mentioned. And because that we still have this belief system or those thoughts that miracles are part of what the Creator is giving each one of us. The Creator is allowing those miracles to take place. It's type of a belief system. It's impacting us, and this is why when things are coming true, it seems like, it's such a surprise. It's such a surprise that It's arrived to me, it came to me. And if we look at it this way, we look at the world as a result, okay? It's like you're not part of this process. And this, we need to know that it's not a miracle. In our thoughts, in our mind, we define a miracle that's something that just happened. It's like suddenly things happened. As long as we're in that thought and in this belief that the Creator creates the miracles, and the Creator is choosing whether to give us this experience of miracles or not, we're not connecting to or tapping into that realm. Like we asking, or we praying, or we meditating, Creator, really, just send me this miracle. Please send me this miracle. That person is sick. That person is experiencing tough life, hardship in life. This person won his soulmate. Please give me a miracle. This is not considered to be a miracle. It's exactly the opposite of it. This is routine. This is the routine of the desire for the self alone, as we Kabbalistically we mention. It's like, because it just give me, give me, give me. It's like the song. It's not dependent on me of creating something new or creating a miracle. It just seems that it's, it doesn't belong to me, that I am the cause, I am the reason. Sometimes we feel that like there are things that are taking place that are normal. Sometimes it's abnormal. And when it's like that, okay, we understand this is what it is, and this is what will make us really excited and happy. But all those definitions that I've mentioned, all these things just show how much we are stuck, unfortunately, I'm using this word, in the victim consciousness. We are the result and we are not the cause. So when we are looking at miracle in that way, we will not be able to tap into this realm that miracle can be part of our daily routine. And we need to know, miracles are all about us, really all about us. I want to talk more about definition, and I'm going to use something new with me today. I'm going to use this, we're going to see the following slide. So there are 3 levels of miracles. Based on what I said and continuing to the next point, there are 3 levels of miracles. One, we call it the probable. You think it can happen. The second one, improbable. It's a stretch, but you could see it's happening, right? It's another form of a miracle. The impossible miracle is and you think it cannot happen. So there are 3 types of categories for miracles. And if we'll see, like for most people, as I've mentioned here in this slide, for most people, miracles are defined by 2 basic qualities. One is that miracles are extraordinary events that appear to defy the rules of the physical world, especially the law of probability. The second one is miracles take place outside of our control. They are usually explained as an amazing coincidences or acts of God. So I would like for you to take a piece of paper or your journal and write down. And I want to mention that this 3-week session of creating miracles will will not just have a frontal, if we can call it like this type of a lecture, but it will require from us to also do the work. Okay, so the first question, the first workshop that we're starting is write a brief description of something like that has happened in your life. Okay, so take this moment to write whether it was an act of God or probability, an extraordinary event that happened to you, and you consider it to be a miracle. Okay, so you can write down as I'll continue. What is mentioned in the as far as the Kabbalist, when we're talking about creating miracle come in the Hebrew language, it's called nes. There's a reason why I'm mentioning the word nes, but I want to just refer to the other sentence, התעוררות של מטה, the awakening from below, the awakening of below. Which means we already can understand that create miracle is the awakening of the lower realm, the awakening of our action, of our behavior, of the fact that we take in responsibilities. Obviously, those are part of the steps. We'll elaborate on that also. But miracles are not coming from above. It's the awakening of below. It's the fact that we are creating the miracle. And we can see it already in the word in Hebrew, nes. Nes in Hebrew, consider it's like a kind of, we can relate it to two different aspects. One aspect of it is from the word lanus, which is to run from or run away from. And the whole concept of creating miracle is that we want to run away from our natural behavior, our natural tendencies. Okay? So when we run away from the natural tendencies, we open ourselves to the gifts that are hidden within us. And the gifts that are hidden within us, sometimes when we reveal them to ourselves and to the universe, for us it's kind of like, oh, it's such a miracle. I did not have those qualities or attributes. But here we go. Nes is coming from one aspect of defining miracles. Is lanus is to run from or run away from. Okay, so this is when it's come to a awakening from below. There's a story that the Ravberg used to share it in the past, and we all, as a student of Kabbalah, we probably heard it in one way or another. And in general, this story is very famous. Many movies, or at least one movie, was created because of this situation. It's about the Exodus, the exit from Egypt. All the Israelites were so excited and happy to get out of slavery, and they finding themselves as they walking outside of Egypt in the desert, reaching to a point where they get to the Dead Sea, and they see in front of them the sea, behind them they see the Egyptian running after them, because they made a decision that they're no longer willing to allow them to go, and they're running after them. And the Israelites are shouting in that moment to the Creator, and the Creator is answering them, what are you shouting to me? What are you calling me? Move on. It's nothing got to do with me. You received all the tools. You have all the information. At that point, the revelation of what the Kabbalistic concept that's called 72 names of God has been revealed, which is understanding for each one of us is like receiving the tools, or they receive the tools to go above nature, to go above all our limitations, go above the physical matter in order to create miracles. And the sea departed so they could have moved. It's like one of the miracle of humankind, the history of humankind, that we keep considering it to be like the greatest miracle ever exist in humanity. But what does it present to us? It shows us that when we wishing, or where we're willing to go above our physical limitation, when we go above our nature, as mentioned with the word nes or lanus, to run away from, when we go above our tendencies, we releasing ourselves from our slavery to what are the limits that we have, the limitations that we have, we create a different reality. We can create what I always call it illogical reality. And again, illogical reality is the reality of miracles. So throughout this seminar, throughout these sessions, we will identify, or will tap into, or will touch what are our limitations, what are the fears, what are the anxiety, what are the concerns, what are the angers, all those layers and layers that are blocking us, not just blocking our vision as a veil, but it's blocking us to tap into this illogical reality, to tap into this parallel universe, parallel reality that exists for each one of us. And the world, or the creator actually, is telling each one of us, listen, this world is yours. This world is yours, and it's up to you and your power and your strength to do and to create. It's actually mentioned in the portion of Korach. And basically, you need to do the job. It's like he said to the Israelites, it's up to you to depart the Red Sea. It's up to you to create this miracle for yourself. So your world is yours. Sometimes, as I said, oftentimes the evil inclination, or the opponent, as we mentioned in Kabbalah, is like really messing with our head, like that we say, miracles is just something that comes from the Creator. It's not belong to us. But no, the Creator is keep telling us, no, this world is for you. You can create your own reality. You can create your own miracle. This is your own story. And sometimes we experience like a aha moment or wow moments in our life. Sometimes we are not. This opponent, this evil inclination, is keep playing with us constantly. And he wants us to believe that the Creator doesn't help us all the time. He helps us sometimes here, sometimes there. And this is our true issue. This is our true, if I can say, problem. As long as we are not understanding, like deep understanding, or embracing this belief or this certainty that we are the cause. We are the cause. The concept of random, or the concept of sometimes it's an illusion. It's an illusion for all of us. And as long as we are not understanding or embracing that miracles can happen and taking place all the time, and they can be part of our daily routine, we will never be able to really touch, feel, impact, influence, and bring miracles into our life. We are deciding that miracles are happening based on the mood of the Creator. In the level of a certain consciousness that we have, we decide that we have no control about what we receive and what's taking place in our life, whether it's a miracle or not. And that sometimes, again, the Creator gives us miracle and sometimes no. So we believe that we are not responsible for it and we have no control and everything is taking place in such a random way. Maybe it's based on our luck. So the truth is a complete opposite. It's a complete opposite for what we just mentioned. Miracles are all about us. Miracles are all about us. This is really up to us. Okay? I brought this for all of us to see. This is the diagram of the 10 Sfirot, or the 10 realms. So if we'll take this tree of life as an example, you can see that there are 10 dots, each dot representing a realm. In Hebrew, it's called Sphira, or world, or level of consciousness. Okay, and I want to describe more about miracles through the 10 Sfirot. So we can see that there are, if we'll look at it as 10 levels of consciousness that exist, or there's 10 levels of consciousness that exist between the light to ourself. And the highest is Keter. If you see the top one is Keter, and the lowest realm that's considered to be the physical realm is the realm of Malchut. So let's say that we refer to each of those realms as people. So Keter is person number 1, and Malchut is person number 10, excuse me, okay? So if we compare each realm to people, so we'll see that person number 1, let's name him Keter. Person number 1 is in its level, the highest connection to the light of the Creator, is a pure channel with no desire for the self alone, nothing separate between him to the light. He has the ability to see that all that in every situation the light exists, all is good, and as far as the light of the Creator, there are no space, time, and motion, right? So this is exactly what does not control person number 1. And person number 10, which is in Malchut, that let's say live or in the level of consciousness of the lower world, the highest level of the desire for to receive alone, which means it's only me, even though that the light exists also in this realm, in the person number 10, he's blocking it. It's like it's blocked. The light is blocked to him in that a degree that he cannot feel or experience even the light. Even the experience of a person or person number 10 is completely controlled by time, space, and motion, and he cannot see the result of the action today. Everything that happens to him is like see it as a suddenly took place. And person number 10 represents like there's a large distance between him to the light of the Creator. Person number 1 doesn't have any separation or distance from the light, is living in a complete harmony, a lasting happiness and lasting fulfillment, all in positivity. So when we go from person number 1, we'll go down into from one person to another, from one realm to another, we can see that the light kind of like being covered from when we go down from one person to another till we reach person number 10. Okay, so is the light is changing? Is there a difference in the light movement? Of course not. There is no difference in the light. The light is not changing. What is changing is the vessel. From one person to another, what is the difference from one person to another are the blockages or the veils that each one has, the blockages, like the filters between one world to the other. So there are more filters from level 1 to level 2. There are different filters, the way we experiencing the light in our life. So if number 1, for example, Keter, like has the experience of the full capacity of the light, person number 10 or Malchut feel like much lesser light experience, therefore we might experience this as darkness. Everything in our life contains the 10 sfirot or the 10 realms. And in order for us to climb in the level of consciousness from one level to another, we need gradually to climb in the level of our consciousness, like we climb in the ladder from one world to another. Most of us are remaining in the level of Malchut, and from time to time we touch this level of mercy, this level of Hod, of peace. But don't get me wrong, right? It's not everything is seems to be, God forbid, so bad or worse, because in the level of Malchut, where we all live in, we have an option. We have a merit. And the merit or the option that we have is about the free will. We have, it's the place where Satan or the evil inclination lives, if I can say that. It's a place where we can experience bread of shame. It's a place where we need to be here, but our purpose needs to bring ourselves into a place where we constantly climb in this ladder from one stage to another, till we reach the connection of this consciousness of a true happiness that we experience the light in every given moment in our life. So there's 10 levels of consciousness also. We contain those levels within ourselves. And it's not something out there, the potential is in a different place. Each one of us can climb into its own next level and so forth. And as I mentioned earlier, the 10 levels, also called the 10 worlds. When we say world, sometimes when, there's phrases that we say, we don't even pay attention how we say it. Is like when someone is doesn't understand sometimes what we say to him. I'm like, a free translation, it's also from Hebrew, is like, what in the world, or where in the world you live in, or whatever, some sort of a comment like this. So we sometimes using the word world in different connotation is like to explain in which level of consciousness are you at now that you made this decision, and so on. And it's kind of like a frame of reference, if I can call it like that. The Kabbalists taught us that each world has a sub-worlds. So each part also divided into 10 realms and an additional 10 realms. So it's like can be the Malchut of Malchut of Malchut. So when we are using different terminology, like when we say beyond logic or beyond our thinking, what do we really mean by that? What do we refer when we say beyond? We basically refer to beyond this worlds, beyond this particular level, beyond this particular realm. But unfortunately, we're not really embracing that the reality, our reality, Malchut, everything in this realm, our possibility, or the way, all the things that we believe in, our belief system, the way we understand even nature, everything, it's the 1%, it's the physical world, it's Malchut. And from our perspective, everything that is above Malchut, considered to be miracle, considered to be nes in Hebrew. But from the light perspective, there is nothing that it's the light defined as miracle. Because from the light perspective, everything is possible. Everything is possible. And the world of Malchut, which is our nature, our logic, the time, the distance, the space, all that we see around us, for us, it's like one world is one realm. But there are other worlds, there are other realms and this realm that we see living in Malchut, yes, it's a realm that has a lot of chaos, and sometimes there are good things in this world, of course, sometimes bad things, but the idea in our spiritual world is not to be stuck in this consciousness of Malchut and expect that miracles will just happen to us from time to time. The idea is like to work on ourselves, like spiritually, to see how can I bring myself above, how can I climb above our limitation and above our nature and reach higher realms, and due to that, and the effect of it is to touch and to enter this realm that all those miracles are waiting for us to be revealed. Because the me in Keter, okay, in person one, because me in Keter doesn't believe in any limitation, it cannot be a cure for diseases, cannot bring the tomorrow to today. Everything is possible for person number one. The me, the I in Keter doesn't have any problem. It doesn't have any issue. Everything is possible in the higher realms. As long as we'll remain consciousness in a conscious wise in the realm of Malchut, we will not be able to see the miracles, as we mentioned earlier, in our daily life. And we will continue to say, oh, there are no miracles in this world. There are no true miracles. What are you talking about? It doesn't make us even more happier. Instead, it actually makes us more angry, and we live in a consciousness or state of lack of certainty. We are more confused. There is no clarity. We are not able, with this consciousness, we are not able to tap into the connection to the light as flowing, because we see it like from time to time we experience it. So in order for us to understand more about miracle, Kabbalah, the wisdom of Kabbalah is teaching us about that is life, it's like a mirror. It's complete like a mirror. Even if we are living in this world, we'll receive what we see. We'll receive what is the consciousness that we have. And I want to show you another description or another mentioning of the word ness, or another concept for the word ness in related to miracle in a verse from the Zohar in the portion of Toldot, verse 88. And in the portion of Toldot, it talks about Abraham, the patriarch, that he went through 10 tests, different type of tests in his lives, and one of them, and regarding the whole test, it says, there's a phrase in Toldot in this portion, Ve'Elohim nisa et Avraham. So I'm going to read, and you can join me reading the description or the interpretation of Rav Ashlag for this. So he says, the Holy One, blessed be He. And I'm going to read it from my script. You can join me in here. And it says like this: the Holy One, blessed be He, behaved similar towards Abraham, as it is written that the Elohim did test Abraham. What is meant by test in Hebrew? Nisa. Nisa is another way of using the word nes in a different pronunciation. Nisa. It means the raising of the banner. As it is written, lift up a standard and set up the standard. He raised his standard over the whole world. And for the test, as the sacrifice, the Holy One, blessed be He, raised the banner of Abraham before everybody's eyes. The Holy One, blessed be He, in order to lift the standard to the right of the righteous, tries them, so they will lift up their heads throughout the world. Basically, what does it mean? Ve'Elohim nisa et Avraham. We are all going through tests in our life. Maybe it's on a daily manner, maybe it's once a month, we're going through a test. And the word nes from the word nisayon. Nisayon is test. Nisayon is an experience. We all go through different experiences. And when we are going above, or when we are succeeding in this test, in this experience, we are overcoming the limitation throughout this process. When we not just jumping from A to Z, but we're literally going through the process, and at the end of the process we see ourselves victorious, we follow through, and so what it is, it's like He lifted Abraham up. Like it talks about the test that Abraham had with to sacrifice his son, and he basically went through that test and succeeded. And what it is, it brought Abraham into his completion. His completion of his being in this world, that particular test. And He raised him like a flag, but He raised Abraham above so he can be the channel, and he became the channel of mercy for the world. And what it means to us, that, how often do we think that we have so much impact on other people? Do really people watch me and see what I go through and get inspired by my actions? Of course they do. Most of the time you do not see. Maybe your neighbors, your family, your friends see you going through the different hardship in your life, this upcoming challenge, this challenge that you have in your life right now, the way you react to it, the way you behave with this, the way you really follow through and go above your nature in any way, shape or form. And it's inspiring. It's inspiring other people to see you behave differently, to see you act differently, and to see the end result, that you succeeded, you overcome, you departed your own Red Sea, and you created for yourself a reality that is like a wow reality. A wow reality can be even just a simple happiness. This is a wow reality. It doesn't have to be always with how we call it, like receiving money from the bank or winning money. It's not just about that. It's like that you had a certain reality of hardship, of like dead end type of a thing. You overcome it going through your own limitation, overcome your limitations, and you created for yourself something illogical. People watch it. People around you are watching you. They are looking at the steps that you took and they get inspired. So sometimes, or most of the times, that when we go through certain challenge, it's really there, not just for us, remember. It's for our kids to see how we behave when there is a hardship. It's for our family, for friends, for people around, maybe colleagues. Maybe if you share your stories sometimes in social media, it can inspire more people. It can bring more kindness and more compassion, because they see, oh, if you could overcome XYZ and succeeded in your own way and created for yourself like illogical reality, maybe I can do the same. Maybe I can learn from you how to do the same. So Ve'elokim nisat Avraham in this portion talks to us and share with us this opportunity, this ability of really follow through and know that you are channel of the light of the Creator. Human experience or human experiences reveal that where there's a belief and willingness to do what it takes, people have created realities, as we say here. We all can achieve miracles in our lives as long as we have the consciousness to create them. And something that I've learned from Karen Bergen, I wanted to share with you, that the first step of creating miracle is believe that you can. Our reality, okay, can only change according to what our minds allow. So first of all is to say to ourselves, if I want a miracle in my life, I have to really believe it can happen. And you can ask the Creator, and I wanted to share with you something that Karen shared with us. That, again, the first step is miracles don't happen if you do not have a belief system that they can happen, okay? And one thing that I took from Karen, and it's kind of like a prayer from to the Creator as a first step to create miracles in our life, is this connection. And Karen offered it to us. Please grant me the consciousness to understand that this is really happening. It's like to really ask for it in your daily connection. If you take a moment to tap that in with your wishes, to tap into this realm, into this parallel reality that you have, please grant me the consciousness to understand that this is really happening. You know, often we think, or we ask for things actually. We ask for things that we do not believe. We ask for things that we do not believe that we can achieve. And so we do not create a vessel. We do not create a vessel to receive it. So there is sometimes we need to rearrange our consciousness in order to create. In order to create like a fertile soil, as Karen mentioned in the past, where that miracle can materialize. So we can all create miracles in our life by simply believing that you can. So please grant me the consciousness to understand that it's really happening. I want to ask you, to write down like something additional to what you wrote in the past, like what type of miracle you have experienced in your life. if you can, if you would have asked a friend to explain the miracle that you've been going through or that you've described as you were writing, how would you, how is your friend would describe it? Okay? How do you think your friend, as watching you on the side, would have paid attention or noticed how he would describe the miracle that you created in your life? As a witness to your experience, the witness to you overcoming the illusion that your experience of overcoming any challenges, how do you think your friends or a witness, someone who's witnessing, would have described that? You can go ahead and write it down. And as you're writing down, I'll continue, because we learn in Kabbalah that that Kabbalah doesn't understand or explain miracles as occurs that happened through the intersection of the Creator, right? Like the desire of the Creator, and certainly not as a mere coincidences, as we already mentioned. The Creator wants us to have miracles all the time. The Creator wants us to live in dimension of being where miracles are the normal, where the chaos and negativity cannot exist. They have no room for it. So again, how we can enter this realm? We enter into the second step. After we believe that miracles can happen, or you can make them happen, we enter in right now, or going into our second step of creating miracle. In the everyday world, we experience our life as the lowest level of connection to the Creator, as we mentioned earlier, our physical world, where we rely on our five senses, which in the Hebrew, it's called malchut, as we mentioned again earlier. As we learn to use the tools of Kabbalah, and our spiritual nature grows and evolves, we can access the higher levels of the divine emanation. It is from this progressively higher levels that we gain the power to bring miracles into our life. So imagine that you are in the center of a brightly lit room, okay? But the room seems completely dark to you. And the question is simple. There are 10 blankets over your head. The first step towards getting in touch with the light is understanding that the blankets are there, okay? Then you can start by removing the blankets one after another, always taking care to do this in to do so that you can open it like one layer after one another. So this is exactly what we must do in order to connect with the energy of miracles. But complications can come up and doubts can come up, so it's distracting us in the process, and it distracts us from our true best interest. And negative thoughts and action can deepen the darkness, as we already know, as if we are putting more blankets over our eyes instead of removing them. So when this has happened, we remain in a chaotic universe that it seems utterly beyond our control. So just remember, the light of the Creator is always there and always available to us. The light never changes. It is we who change, okay? And it is who we become more or less. So let's be aware of that, to touch to it. So when there are negative thoughts or feelings coming into our everyday life, that creating separation between us to the light. And sometimes those blankets, or as I mentioned in different ways, those can be anger, it can be a jealousy, self-pity, and much more. So take again your journal and start to write down what are the most or what are some, okay? What are some of the self-limiting issues that exist in your life? Okay? If you can just write it down, like if you have those angers, if you have jealousy, if you have an issue with self-worth, if you feel that you do not deserve, all of those feelings or doubts or thoughts, write it down. What are those self-limiting issues in your life? And as you're writing it down, remember that, you can simply put, if we know that the Creator has been giving us everything, we need to make miracles happen. Like He gives us everything in order to create miracles. When we identify what are those self-limitings or what are those blankets that limits us, we can know what are they in order to start taking them out of our eyes. And as we do this work, and we'll start to do this work together in these 3 weeks, we will draw closer to God, the Creator, so we can feel and experience more of the light of the Creator. So let's identify what are the self-limiting. And as you're writing it down and looking into this, the second step that I want to identify with that is like being a channel. Being a channel of the light of the Creator. Being a channel of the light of the Creator. This is the second step. When people think of gaining the power to create miracles in their life, they often have something specific in mind. They want a miracle for a new career, or an existing relationship, or bigger house, or improving health, and so forth. Unfortunately, that kind of thinking limits our connection to the miracle rather than expanding it. And becoming a true channel of the light of the Creator means being open to everything. It means putting aside all like the relatively narrow agendas of our everyday's light, and letting the Creator move us in direction we really need to go. So that direction may not be exactly what we expect, but in the long run is certainly it's a certain definitely will much better outcome. So if we focus on a limited number of possibilities, for example, we really restrict from the light. We constrict the light. Okay, we need to create space and freedom in which miracles can take place. We must allow for any and all solution to our needs, even solution we could not have anticipated by ourselves. Okay, it's a matter of realizing that we cannot do everything on our own, and that we cannot even imagine how to do everything on our own. From that realization is just a short step to trusting in the light. So the key of becoming a true channel for miracle is simply this. You must understand that everything that comes into your life assists you in your spiritual growth, provided you see events as opportunity rather than obstacles. So the way we discussed in other classes, and you heard everything that can be heard about desire, but desire is the engine power in this whole process, in this process. All desire is an opportunity for connection with the light. So initially, desires can manifest negatively as a frustration or disappointment. But desire can also be a conduit for miracles as long as we are using it rather than being used by it. There's a passage from the Zohar, and it's a great spiritual text of Kabbalah. And the passage says, "Open to me an opening no wider than the eye of a needle, and I will open to you the supernal gates." What does it really mean? When the Zohar refers to an opening, it's best to think of this as in a term of like a pipeline or electrical conduit circuit, actually, that is something that has connection in both ends. So opening ourselves to connecting with the Creator is an absolute essential step. But it is by no means all that must be done to manifest miracles. We must also open the other end of the pipeline, or the other end of the circuits, by sharing the light we receive with the world around us. So becoming or being a channel of the light is to allow the light of the Creator to go through us, to see that all the events that are taking place in our life are opportunities. And within that, also to share this light with others. And we will talk about more of sharing, of course. But when the Zohar speaks of creating an opening, this really refers to the both process. Channeling the light is not just what it is. It's like channeling the light, and also it's like receiving the light and sharing the light. This is being a channel of the Creator, and this is the step 2 of creating miracles in our life. Some people are much better at one aspect of, let's say, the channeling process. Some are mastering sharing and giving. But the idea is like how we bring them both. How we bring them both is really becoming a true channel or beacon of light. And there is a sure way knowing whether your spiritual circuitry is complete and you're a true channel of the light of the Creator, whether you still have a work to do or not. So whenever you feel unprivileged, or you feel victimized or mistreated in any area in your life, there's a blockage or a short circuit in your spiritual channel. Once you remove that block, the pain you are experiencing will vanish. So as you move towards, the goal of true connection and have a true circuitry with the light, be aware of the negative temptations that are always there being presented to us. There's a good way to recognize the difference between channeling the light and channeling negative energy. Channeling the light takes time and effort, but the effect is permanent and fulfilling, actually. And channeling negativity is immediate and overwhelming, but then it's gone in a flash. So another question I want to raise for all of us. Can you think of a time when you wanted to bring something particular into your life, but instead of being open to all possibilities, you were too focused? Write down those moments, or at least one moment you remember. In general, another question. When you are trying to bring the light of the Creator into your life, are you as open as you could be? Be honest with yourself and answer this question. Listen, tapping into the domain of miracles and becoming a channel for their power, it's a big job. It's a process that all of us can actively take part in every moment of the day, in our work, with our family, with everyone in our life. Broadly speaking, basically the formula to manifest miracle by being a channel of the light has two parts. One is opening yourself to the Creator. Two, sharing the light with the world around you. And to apply this formula to your daily life, start by thinking about, for example, your schedule for tomorrow or for any day in the near future. It can be a work day or weekend, but focus on one day that seems fairly typical. And for our present purposes or holidays and special occasions, they're not appropriate. So let's take a one day, typical one day, and ask the Creator to be your partner. Ask the Creator to be your partner in all that you do, whether you're working or relaxing or both. Be aware that everything is about connecting to the light. However, and whatever you may have felt about your life in the past, remember that your purpose is now to reveal the light, to connect with the light of the Creator through sharing, and thereby to connect with the power of miracles. I know, we all know, we cannot do it alone. We need the Creator help, but we need to ask for help. So first we have the connection that I shared with you earlier of Karen Berg, and another is like really the second step is to ask from the light of the Creator for help. So what will be your question? What will be your how can you ask the Creator for help right now? You can write it down to yourself. And in that day, the ideal day or the one day that you want to take, if you have like your schedule of the day, ask from the light of the Creator to be in every action from that day. And the following day, observe, reflect, go back to that day and see how the light has been present in every action, in every meeting, in every conversation, in every moment you relaxed. Acknowledge that. See that. See how you become or you are a good channel of the light of the Creator. So today we spoke about 2 steps. 2 steps out of 10, 12, 13 steps that I wanted to share with you. Those are the main 2, the foundation, and just repeating that. So step number 1, that miracles don't happen if you do not have the belief system that they can happen. If you do not believe that miracles can happen, we cannot even start. The second step is allowing yourself to be a channel of the light of the Creator by the exercise I'm giving you to try and to check and experience the light in your life in every given action moments that you're doing. So we just take in one day out of your life to experience that. Of course, there are many steps and there are many tools I'm going to share with you in the next couple sessions that we're going to have. I'm going to have also guest teachers joining us. And I want to leave you with 2 combinations, the Hebrew combinations out of the 72 names of God, 2 of the names of God that are mainly, we all are familiar with them, and I wanted to mention that as if we would like to create miracles in our life, and I think all of us would like to create illogical realities. Those can help us by meditating, by putting intention into it. So I just wanted to share with you the 2 types of combinations. And one of them is Samech Yutet, which is the actual combination that allow us to tap into creating miracles. So creating miracles is, like I mentioned, it's also about desire, right? So another exercise I would like to give you within that is to start to write in your wish list. What is your wish list for this year? What are your desires? What are your dreams for this year? And as you're writing them down, meditate, connect, just say, Samich Yutet, this energy exists already to allow you to create your miracles. So just as an additional exercise to write your wish list for this year. Don't worry about the length of this list. It can be as long as possible, as long as you want. The other combination is Nun Yutaf. Don't be scared about the death of that translation. It's basically this Nun Yutaf in the content of our conversation supports us and help us to identify the blockages that still exist within us, that creating the distance between us to actual belief and certain that miracles can take place in our life. And it's removing any situation that considered to be with no solution or dead end to them. Okay, so if you have any type of blockage, just even approaching or embracing this concept that miracles can take place in our life, if you have any blockage within that, this is another combination, Nun Yutaf, that can help us to connect and to remove those blockages by first of all identifying them. Identify exactly what is the fear, what is the concern that we still have within ourselves from creating miracles and creating illogical reality. Okay? So these are the two additional, those are the two names that, in addition to what I've shared through this session, to start supporting us to tap into this realm of miracles. Any question that you may have, any thought, I would love to hear from you. My email address is rachel.madar@kabbalah.com. I would love to hear from your list. What is your wish list? What are the blockages that you may have? And what are your thoughts? Thank you for joining me. We'll meet you again in our next session, and have a blessed week.